Can I say something before you get going? You know, that entirely depends on what you want to say. I just wanted to point out that the top of the order, like Altuve, Alvarez, and Bregman all had really, really good games before you got going. That way we can get all the positive out of the way to begin with, and then you can just go on your little rant. I'm not sure if I'm grateful for the fact that you just made my job easier, or insulted because you just took away the only fun thing I get to talk about for the game. Hi, I'm Weston. I love talking about the Astros. I'm here to talk about Game 20 of the regular season, where the Astros lose 5-4 to the Atlanta Braves in the 10th inning, getting swept by the Atlanta Braves, and now falling to 6-14. Like, if you wanted to come for positivity and a spin, look at yesterday's video. There are some other videos where I found a way to give things a positive spin. That's not this. Like, I have done everything to this point of the season to be optimistic and to find the little bright sides. I'm out. I can't spin it for you any other way. This team, through 20 games, has looked terrible. They've looked awful. Listen, I understand the whole, well, they always get off to cold starts there, West Reno. Listen, a cold start is like, 10-10. Maybe 9-11. 6-14 means you suck. Like, bitterly suck. It's bordering on unwatchable. And I've said this, I don't know if I've ever actually said it in a video, or if it's been in live streams, or if it's been to people I've talked with. My view of sports, specifically baseball, not of sports, of baseball. Because there are so many games, there's 162 of them every year, not counting the playoffs. The bad team, like every team, starts off with a baseline that they're going to win like 80-ish games. 81. Just bang on, you'll win half of them. Because of how many you play and the sheer odds of matchups. The good teams find ways to take some of those 81 that you're supposed to lose and find a way to convert them. And the bad teams do the inverse. They take 81 of those games you're supposed to win and find a way to lose them. Which team does this current Astros team remind you more of those two examples? It's the team that's finding ways to lose games in dumb, idiotic ways. Other than Altuve looking as good as ever, by the way, genuinely, maybe one of the best starts Altuve's ever gotten off to, and they've wasted it. Wasted it. If they have him last year and he's hitting like this, they won 100 games last year. And who knows? Who freaking knows, dude? Other than that, what do you take away from the series? Like, Whitley got to debut, and then he got sent right back down to AAA to make room for Verlander for Friday. I'm spent. They look awful. And then you listen to the pressers. The coach and GM, Espada and Brown, they're just saying the same meaningless garbage about players who don't deserve defending. Talking about how, you look at the back of the baseball card, and they're a good player. If I have to hear anyone in this organization say, look at the back of a baseball card again, I am going to drive to Houston and commit crimes. And I've said it so many times at this point of the season, the only thing worse than not admitting that you've made a mistake than making the mistake is not admitting it. You have Jose Abreu, who is batting .078. His OPS is 256. And now I have to look it up. I'm just interested. 256. There are, of the players who played today, two players who have a batting average lower than 256. His OPS is 256. That's a not good average. That's a very not good on-base percentage. That's a really bad slugging. In OPS, that's unheard of. And they keep feeding him. And I understand that John Singleton isn't the move, by any means. You've Carantini right there. Do it. Put him at first. You sacrifice Abreu, you say thank you, sorry it didn't work, and let him be free, and free yourself of the shackle. And I don't like saying this, I was big on the Abreu signing. You can find that video, one of my like top 15 most viewed videos. I was big on the Abreu signing. And put the dunce cap on me, because it has failed miserably. And this team won't admit it. You have the coach, manager, and GM that are just basically saying nothing about how players are going to come out of it. You look at the back of the baseball card, yuck, 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 yuck. Instead of actually giving us, and like the thing is, right? Because the players they're talking about are not the players that I'm talking about. I talked about Hader, and I gave you reasons as to why I think he's going to come out of it, because you can look at the micro of his abilities and see that, well, nothing really has changed. You look at a guy like Abreu, who all of their macro numbers have gone through the floor, and we're being told that he will rebound because reasons. And then you listen to Bregman talking about what's gone wrong this season. That was the interview that stuck out to me, because if you've ever watched any Charlie Brown, Peanuts, anything, it's just the nothingness that comes out of the adults' mouths. I listened to like a minute and a half, 2 minutes of Alex Bregman talking. I don't know anything that dude said. And I'm not trying to punch at Alex Bregman. It's just nothing. It's nothing. And I swear, if I have to sort through the comments of people saying you're such a fair weather fan, first of all, do you understand the other teams that I cheer for? Do you understand what comes with this? All right? I don't care if you're good or the best or mediocre or the worst team over the past decade. Doesn't matter. I love you and I will watch you through and through, and I will never leave you. This is what it feels to truly love something. Because if I didn't care, I wouldn't do any of this. I would just find positive little ways to spin it. Like, if you see just an acquaintance of yours screw something up, you're going to be polite about it. But when your best friend screws something up, you're going to walk over, backhand them, and tell them of what an absolute ass of themselves they just made out of themselves. That's the difference. I care about the team enough to rip them to shreds. Because through 20 games, they have looked like an absolute dumpster fire. And from the fact that in seasons previous, they have found ways to come back from bad starts, they've never been this bad. And not just from a statistical standpoint, they've never looked this bad. Like, this is making 2020 look desirable. Which is bonkers to say. Like, they could. There's still a lot of time left. There are teams that have started worse or as bad and have rebounded to make the playoffs. But if your only reason that you have that notion right now and why you're saying, oh, well, they'll be fine. Why? Because that's not a good enough reason. They don't look good. And I understand, well, Weston, they're injured. They're going to get guys back. Listen, I love Justin Verlander. I love Lance McCullers. Two of my favorite pitchers. Both of them are hanging up over in the closet. Not literally, but, you know, the jerseys. Your hope is riding on a 40-year-old pitcher who has missed time to start the season, and Lance McCullers, who I love. I adore him. Maybe my favorite pitcher of all time. But who hasn't pitched in almost 2 years. A year and a half. The last time he pitched was like October 29th of 2022. And that's the rope that you're holding on to with all of your might. I need to see them play and play well before I start to get back aboard. I don't know what the rest of the season's going to look like, but through 20 games, which it's baseball, there are so many games, you kind of have to go by 10 game increments or even 20 game increments. And through the first 20, howling ugly. And I don't like being this negative. I don't want to be this negative. And if you want proof, look at the World Series videos, man. Look at how happy I was in that stream. Over the moon. Look at the ones where we lost. I looked like I wanted to go jump in front of a train. I don't like making these type of videos. I want to be happy. I want to be talking about how the Astros right now are like 15-5 and how, they're looking this good and they're still going to get Verlander back and they're still going to get McCullers back. That's not the reality we've been given. We've been given a reality where they are 6-14 and they've been swept like 3 times already. Oh, that's so bad. That really just hit me. Like, if they could have found a way to just get something out of those series, even when they lost. Something out of the Yankee series. Salvage 1 game. Salvage something against the Royals. Salvage something against the Braves. 9-11 would be so infinitely better. That'd be so much better and so much closer to something that's like, alright, well, you know, they're hanging around. 6-14 is just... I don't think I can ever make a prediction video again because, oh boy. I continue to consistently get one thing right and then the others are just... So they play again Friday. Hard cut. They play again Friday in Washington against the Nationals. 6:45 Eastern, 5:45 Central. Verlander's going to be back. It's going to be cool to see him. I hope that he makes me look like an absolute idiot. And just goes out there and dominates like the vintage JV that he could be. I want that more than anything. Nats are going to send Mackenzie Gore to the mound, and I'll be here afterwards to talk about it. But as for right now, that is all I have to say. So if you enjoyed the video, please consider to like and subscribe. Thank you all so very much for watching. I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day. And as always, go Astros.